Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to be with you today. I know I haven't been on for a while, but I have been processing all of these higher light codes that have been coming in. I hope you've been doing the same because we have just been in extreme highs like never before. These influxes of light are super intensified. I know every single person on the globe is feeling it. Um, each of us is feeling it in a different way. I've been using it to keep me in the higher blissy creator states where I can manage a 0 point field for myself and also for the house and the property. And so each is going to experience it in their own way. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today, because I don't know when I'll be on to make another video, because I'm feeling really called to just sit in these energies and just allow myself to be, okay? So what is important about this is to be able to be as present as possible, to hold presence, to hold awareness to what is taking place in our body. These influxes of light are these higher solar rays, solar frequencies, photonic light frequencies that you've heard me talk about many, many times, talking about how we are comprised of photonic light, and the photonic light loves to clear distortion from our field because it does not like distortion. And so it's going to kick up anything that we have not resolved within ourselves. Okay. Now, one of the most important things to know at this particular point in time is that for those who have not really done a lot of work, you're going to feel it in your neck, in the back of your neck. So in other words, if you've waited and you haven't really done a whole lot of tuning in and being present over the last 10 years, you're going to probably be experiencing this a little bit more than other people are. In the back of your neck, right in the area of the occipital bone, right on the sides of the neck, down into the shoulders. Some of you may even be feeling where you feel like somebody has their hand wrapped around your throat and you can't swallow. Also in the area of the higher heart, right here where the thymus is, as that higher heart energy is starting to activate, so much is taking place, right? We're actually forming the new glands along the sides of the neck. Those glands are helping us to be able to breathe better in the photonic light. In the plasma light that is engulfing the planet right now, because plasma is thicker than water, and we're in these higher plasma light frequencies. And for those of you that are not aware, I will leave a link below to a blog post I wrote called Navigating Your Energy Body. I explain the different types of light that we've been experiencing there. You can read more what they do, but that plasma light will come through like Roto-Rooter and kind of clear you out. So any tummy troubles, eating issues where you're feeling like you're not digesting food properly, or maybe you are having a problem either going to the bathroom too much or not enough. These are all indicative of plasma light frequency coming in, and crystalline light frequency also, where we are engaging our multidimensional self. Okay, so there's a lot taking place right now, and it's really important for us to be fully present so that we can understand what it is that we're experiencing in any given moment. I actually had a in-person session first thing this morning, and my client, who's been a client of mine for a very long time and has been coming to the house for a very long time, told me that they actually got onto the block before my house and couldn't remember the rest of the directions and had to pull over and plug it in because suddenly their mind went blank. That is an example of a multidimensional experience. You may have heard me explain in the past where I went out to my car and I went to try and open the door, and I couldn't remember how to open the door. And I stood out there for probably 10 minutes staring at my car, trying to figure out how to open the door. That's a multi-dimensional experience. Seeing sacred geometrics forming in front of you as the pixels, the dots, are coming together. It's particle matter, right? Particle matter coming together in a way that it's creating the matter that is presenting. So whatever that's going to look like, right? And each is having their own experience. My friend who I told you about in Minnesota had an amazing experience where she actually saw the codes coming in binary. And I've talked about that in the past, how the ones are the on switches for us and the zeros turn things off, but it's deeper than that. We'll probably get into that in another video. But where these codes are coming in, and it's like packets of information for us, so that when we're trying to make a decision on what we need to do in this now moment, if we're not feeling into what is the correct decision that will keep us on our soul path, and we're choosing another way because we like it better or think it's going to feel better or be better, experience whatever, but it's not meant for us, that packet of information is not going to fit properly. And it's almost like putting the pieces of a puzzle together, where it's just going to create greater separation for ourselves in our soul path, right? So we have to start to be very, very clear, okay? And many of you are going to find yourselves experiencing these multidimensional states of being, where you're having these moments where you're feeling very outside of yourself, like out in left field. You may be feeling confused about the day, what day it is, what time it is, what you were supposed to do next. Not remembering, that's a big one, right? As we're going through these template wipes, when we suddenly can't remember the things that we had put on our agenda to do, or perhaps you're not able to remember family members' names, or like I explained, getting into your car, or directions, or something that you've always known. Multidimensionality, as we start to really get in the higher timelines, we no longer need to carry our past with us. So the past starts shedding from our field. I don't really remember my past much anymore. I'm not tied to it. I don't go there and dwell in anything that's past. I don't think about anything old. I'm really focused on right here, right now. I don't think about the present because the future, because it hasn't been created yet. I am solely in the present state of being. Okay. And so we can't take the past into these higher timelines that we're trying to create. And we can't rush into the future, because the future is created by what we're doing here in our present state of being. Okay. So we have to be very, very clear about everything that is taking place, and make sure that we are on our organic timeline and staying present to be a witness to what is showing up, so we can always make the highest, best choices for ourselves and be in our highest state of alignment. Okay. Now, these light codes are going to make us feel like we're on a roller coaster. I know I've said that many, many times over the last couple of weeks, because that's what it's about now. We're going to experience the highs and the lows. While I'm not experiencing any pain, I know that many are experiencing it, as I mentioned already, in the neck, in the shoulders, in the back of the neck, the back of the head, the frontal lobe of the brain area, where expansion is occurring, and you'll literally feel like your head is swelling, and then it constricts again or contracts again, right? There's the expansion and the contraction. The expansion is heating up. So when you're getting hot, you're feeling hot. And then we come back in and we contract again, and we feel super cold as our body is trying to work to process the light that we've just taken in, or the upgrades that we've just had. Now, they are not ascension symptoms, okay? If you are still using that term, you are tethering to the old 3D realm. Symptoms is tied to victimhood mentality. Victimhood mentality resides in 3D. If you are still using the word symptoms, get rid of it, throw it out, and call them Ascension upgrades, Ascension activations, DNA upgrades, whatever else fits and makes you happy, right? Doesn't matter what else you call it. Just don't use the word symptoms, because it's really a 3D word and we have to get away from using that word. And if you're uncertain about why that is at a deeper level, please watch my video called Ascension Symptoms. What are they, right? So we have to get away from certain things, and we have to become aware that not everything that's taking place in our body is trying to cause us pain and suffering or trying to cause us harm, okay? Our neck pain, our shoulder pain, all of that has to do with the light codes that are entering. They enter through the occipital area in the back of the neck, and when they do, they throw the particles out of balance, particles known as quarks, throws them out of balance. And so until those quarks come back into alignment again, you're going to have pain in the back of your neck. You can go for massages, you can foam roll it out, you can stretch it out, you can do whatever you want. It is not going to go away until those light codes are integrated. I know, because I spent 4 years with chronic neck pain when the energies were much, much slower, going back to 2012. 4 years working through all of the pain that some of you are feeling now. And it will not go away until you let go. We have to surrender. We have to stop seeing it as something that is wrong with us. And we have to start looking at it and saying, oh, maybe I wasn't present enough. And all the light codes that were building up have finally now released into my field, and they're all jamming up. It's like a funnel. The top of the funnel really wide, and then it gets really, really narrow. And guess what? You've got a traffic jam at the narrow end of the funnel as the codes are coming into your field, right? And so what happens then? You get pain, because it's a traffic jam up of these light codes all trying to activate at the same time, okay? So what that requires is rest. It requires surrender. It requires presence. When you're present and you're truly present, you'll feel something shifting. And the minute you feel that something shifting, if you can go get in your bed and just lay down and let it come through and integrate, you'll be up in no time and back on your feet doing whatever, right? I've been feeling it. And the minute I feel it, I let myself just have a timeout, and then I'm back on track again. For me, the timeouts don't last more than, maybe 5 minutes at a time. I know for many, it's going to last a lot longer than that, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, depending on how good you are at surrendering. Okay. I learned many years ago, the only way to work through this is surrendering. Now, I am going to tell you that there is some stuff that's taking place. You may wake up and you may notice that, in the morning when you try to close your hands, if you've eaten too much salt the night before and your hands are really, they're swollen, you can't close your hands. And that's something that's taking place, as the nervous system is being impacted by these higher light frequencies, these higher light codes. The vagus nerve is being stimulated. So a lot of times that runs down the sides of the neck, all the way down. It runs into the groin area, runs into the sacral area where bringing into alignment a new gland that is activating in that area. Okay. So that's the reason that we're having like stomach trouble and all kinds of digestive issues and stuff. Also, you might notice that your urine has changed, right? No matter how much water you're drinking, you just can't keep it clear. And it's normally not a darker color other than the clear color. That's also related to ascension, okay? And how your body is detoxing or trying to detox. Mucus coming up. Mucus is another way that the body carries out distortion, right? Discordant energy is carried out through mucus. So if you are waking up in the morning and your nose is running, or you have phlegm in your throat, just dispel it and, keep your day going. Don't tie into, oh, gee, I think I must be getting sick, because then you will get sick. Because in these faster, higher energies, we're manifesting so quickly that it will happen very fast for you. Okay. And also eyesight is being affected. Now, something important with the eyesight, you may feel like your eyes are going wonky because you're seeing what looks like a sheer veil as you're looking outside. And it's especially noticeable when the sun is out. What you're actually seeing is energy, okay? And when you let yourself move beyond seeing the energy, because it's gonna look like your eyes are not quite clear because you're seeing energy. When you allow yourself to have that experience and realize that there's nothing wrong with you, it's just you're going through an upgrade, your ocular nerves are going through upgrades. What ends up happening after that is you start to see everything in a silvery sheen. And it will look like bright, maybe bright opalescent kind of light, okay? That's 5D. We're already in 5D. So we have to start acting like we're in 5D instead of looking at the original structure of Earth and going like, okay, nothing's changed, I'm still in 3D. We're not. It's a perception, and everything is reflective of our inner being. So everything that we're seeing outside in our reality is a direct relationship to what we're holding on the inside. If we want a different experience on the outside, we have to hold something different, something other than what we've been holding on the inside. Okay, that's very important. Now, something that I talked about with my class the other day on our community call for our Ascension Mastery class was to get ourselves out of the box. I know so many people that have identified themselves as something very specific, right? Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I do this. Oh, this is what I do. This is who I am. And it's very specific, and we've put ourselves into that box, that framework that identifies us, that we've always used to identify ourselves. But if you think about it from a much higher perspective, that is in linear fashion, and that is more separation, and it will just keep us playing the game of separation. We have to let that go, and we have to say, in who I am expansive. I am everything. I have an opportunity to be all things, right? And not just what's in that little box. That's the most important thing that we can do, because I'm noticing it with myself. I started this practice probably about 2 years ago, and I started to really practice just being expansive and letting myself go. And yesterday, I did a watercolor painting of a little duckling that I posted on my Instagram account. And I drew the outline, sketched the outline for the duckling in 5 minutes. I erased maybe 2 little lines, and that was it. But for the most part, it was in its form as I sketched it. And I looked at that and I had to laugh, because it gave me the greatest joy to see that I don't have to work at anything anymore. I don't have to work at it. I can just do it and have faith and trust that it's going to come out exactly as it's meant to come out. Okay. We're taking ourselves out of this dualistic state of being where there is good and bad and there is right and wrong. Okay. And I'm taking out the old me that would have been the art student, and the story that my art portfolio was stolen in high school. So I didn't get to go to art school, and I didn't get to have all these years of magical art study. And so I always held myself to that as to why I couldn't do art, and maybe why I didn't feel like I was going to be a good enough artist. And here I'm seeing the more I throw away that story about myself and released it from my field, let it go completely, it doesn't hold me back in any way, shape, or form. And I can actually excel in my artwork or anything else that I do, as long as I'm letting that go and getting rid of it. And I know if you watched my last video, you heard me talk about the triality codes, right? The Trinity codes. We are leaving duality and heading into triality, where it is about community, compassion, love, caring, sharing. We're leaving the dualistic state of being where there is good and bad, there is right and wrong, and we're stepping it up into a Christ-like state of being, a Christ-like coded state within ourselves that says, I am going to hold the perfection and likeness of source consciousness, and I am going to be present for whatever is showing up in my reality. And that means myself included. I have to be present for me as well. And that's what I was displaying through the process of sketching out that duckling and then painting it. And I was so joyful afterwards that it uplifted my vibration again. So when we do more of those types of things, it's going to lift us up into our next highest state of being. I could stay stuck and keep running that old story and playing out the victim timeline where, you know, somebody stole my portfolio, I didn't get into art school, boo-hoo me. But I'm choosing not to do that. And every time I choose not to do that, I'm amplifying that next highest state of being within myself, right? So try it. Let go of what you keep saying about yourself. You know, for many, we've been trained, and I know I got this training too, especially when I was in my corporate job, is the elevator speech of who you are, you know. So try letting that go so that you can amplify those codes and really step into a whole new version of yourself. That is so super, super important. Now, another thing that's really important is to understand that we are clearing timelines at such a fast pace in our dream state. It's ridiculous. Okay. So last night, again, and I've been doing this for many, many days, clearing timelines that I have an awareness of. And they're timelines that I didn't choose. So when I was young, probably about 14 or 15, I loved photography. And my father bought me my first camera, which was, I think, a Nikon back then, right? The FG20 or something like that. And so I remember that camera because it was freedom for me. Like I could go and express myself in pictures. And I thought that that was really quite amazing. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to be an artist, graduating, you know, as an artist, going to art school, or becoming a photographer. And then oddly enough, neither of those paths happened for me. I was directed by my father mostly to college, to go to college to be a medical laboratory technologist, right? Which I liked, but I didn't love it. But last night in my dream, I was a photographer, like a really, really good photographer. So somewhere on another timeline out there, not the timeline that I chose because I'm here on this timeline, but on another timeline that I had no awareness of, I was a really good photographer, and I was someplace doing some kind of shoot in, I think, the wildlife, and my camera got stolen. And whoever stole the camera forgot to take the plug and accessory cords and all of that stuff with it. All they did was steal the camera. And I woke up remembering very vividly. As a matter of fact, for a few seconds laying in bed, I couldn't tell where I was, what timeline I was on, and wasn't sure if I was a photographer or if I was here, because it was kind of like, you know, muddied as I was coming back from it. But we're having these experiences that are just very profound if we allow them to you know, shed out of our field so we could step up into our next best version of ourselves. Now, is it important for us to remember our dreams and our experiences? No. As a matter of fact, somebody was telling me about a dream today and said that a loved one had a dream that they were either a monkey or wearing a monkey suit, and they were doing something with maybe a ball or something like that, and they were in a different location that didn't make any sense to them. Okay, and what I would say to that is what I always say. If we're having these higher level dreams and we're maybe meeting with our councils, maybe meeting with our galactic future self or our ascended state of being, and we're coming back very, very quickly into our physical body, back from being out in the ethers in the astral field, in these higher dimensional states of being, we come into the body so fast that we wake up quickly, and the brain tries to scramble to figure out what that was. What that was, oh, must have been a monkey. Oh, what we were eating a banana. Oh, we were juggling a ball, right? And we were standing in the middle of an empty house. And so our human brain is going to try and go through the Rolodex to make sense of it, when it can't really make sense of it, because what it's trying to make sense of is from a higher dimensional plane of being. Okay, so try not to get hung up on your dreams. I'm giving you this information because we are clearing so quickly as we're merging all timelines into the now, which is why it's so important to be as present as possible. I can tell you every day is a new experience. It's exciting. I'm seeing more with my physical eyes, but also with my eyes closed. When my eyes are closed, I'm seeing almost as if my eyes are open, because the pineal gland is activating and coming online. And I'm seeing into dimensional states of consciousness. And this is our multidimensional self kind of kicking in and coming online and being truly present, right? The last video, I think I mentioned seeing a fairy flying down the middle of the street. This is what's available to us now. This is everything that we have been waiting for, okay? The more we start to realize that the aches and pains that we're having are blessings in our life, because it means that we're actually activating our DNA, activating our molecular structure, and we are creating change in our body. The more we can embrace it and be happy about it and be excited about it, the faster it's going to shift, the faster the codes integrate, and the faster we'll step up into a newer version of ourselves. Okay, but if we allow ourselves to get bogged down with feeling like a victim to ascension or to this process, it's going to get worse for us, because being in resistance to what is going to create more pain and suffering. And of course, sometimes we need the pain and suffering to bring us greater clarity, right? But it's not really what we want. All right. So for those of you that have been crying nonstop or feeling like all you're doing is crying, please have the cry. It's very, very important. It's a cellular cleanse. It's how our body releases toxins. We're releasing discordant energy through those tears. So it's super, super important. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. That's what I have for you guys today. Please stay present. We have the highest highs coming around the 13th or 14th of April. They should last going straight through Easter, which I think is the 17th, and maybe ending somewhere around the 19th or the 20th. Okay, so we have another stretch of super, super high light codes coming in, high frequencies coming in. Everything is super solar, super crystal. Make sure that you're taking care of your body, get enough sleep, make sure you're staying hydrated, eat the food your body is asking for, be present, stay focused on what is in your highest, best good, and do that. Don't allow yourself to get pulled into left field, because left field is not on your soul path going straight ahead. Okay. It's so important not to get caught up. Do not measure yourself against anybody else's experience with Ascension. Okay. Each of us are having our own experience. You don't want to measure yourself against anybody else. It's your experience that you're having. Allow yourself to have whatever is transpiring for you. Okay. If you need some creative flow, please feel free to come over to my 5D inspired art page on Instagram and join us. If you don't want to join us, just like it and follow it, and let yourself be amplified by some of the amazing art creations that are coming through there. So just a quick shout out to those guys, that all of you that are participating on that page. Thank you so much, because it's really been a lot of fun. This week, I think, is enchanted. So check over there. I know Loretta's going to be posting that tomorrow. Just check over there and make sure. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And to all of you that are here with me, that are joining this family, that are lending your support in whatever way through liking the posts, liking the videos. It bumps me up, believe it or not, in the algorithm so other people can find me. I'm hearing some of you are actually getting surveys. Do you like this content? Is it something that resonates with you? Hopefully you're saying yes, and sharing positive feedback. And to those of you sharing these videos, thank you. So important. But mostly to all of you that are family here, thank you so much. Your presence means the world to me, because together we're creating a better experience within not only our reality, but also within the collective reality for doing our work, showing up and being present for all of this. Okay, so I want to thank you for that. Whatever it is that you are doing today, have a wonderful, wonderful time with it. Enjoy every single moment. Make sure that you're getting your rest. If rest is required, do not push through anything. We don't do that anymore. Okay. And know that I love you so very much. And I will see you again back here real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.